Being on the frontier of AI code is not for the faint of heart. There is always the chance for fantastic failures. They called it the ultimate upgrade. But out here, the simulation ends, and the real frontier begins. Survival is hand-forged, and every line of code is written in dust. Now we get into the grit. Balance that weary engineer vibe. No corporate chatbots allowed here. They called it the ultimate upgrade. But out here, the simulation ends, and the real frontier begins. Now we get into the grit. Balance that weary engineer vibe. No corporate chatbots allowed here. About your code. You either forge it or you fade. Out here, survival is just a slow process of debugging. You don't just hand a digital frontier a script and ask nicely. You feed it raw syntax, and it bites back with a 41EO access denied.
Look at this footage. You are rushing a blind wooden door. You need to clear the frame, draw a lightweight 3220 revolver, and lock onto your target in under a second. It is a high-speed physical challenge that often ruins takes on set. Today, you are going to learn the choreography of the Spud-Higgins doorway drill to execute a professional, camera-ready room entry. Before we hit the floor, you need 3 things: a prop revolver, a rigid hip holster, and a pair of heavy-soled boots. Breaking this motion down step by step turns raw, sloppy speed into a repeatable cinematic discipline. Step 1 is your starting position. Stand straight, arms relaxed. When your hand drops to the revolver, maintain a loose, agile grip on the handle. This image shows the cinematic context for this grip. It is a recreation of J.C. Black handing over the weapon at the Mesa Redondona Corral. Notice the relaxed posture. He emphasizes duty over raw power. To check your grip tension, let your hand rest on the prop weapon in the holster. You should be able to wiggle your bottom 2 fingers slightly. A common failure point is white-knuckling the frame. Gripping the gun tightly before you draw flexes your forearm, which increases the time it takes to clear the holster. Adopting this relaxed physical posture ensures your hand is loose enough to move. This grip is the foundational requirement for a fast draw. This photograph shows a classic frontier adobe building. Note the thick exterior walls and the deeply recessed doorway. Navigating these blind corners is what makes historical room entries difficult for a performer. For your starting stance, position yourself exactly 2 full steps back from the entry point. Now we execute the threshold search. The rule is simple. Do not touch the holster until your lead foot breaks the door plane. This diagram breaks down the mechanical timing. Watch as the foot crosses the entry line. That is the exact moment the hand engages the holster. Drawing in the hallway telegraphs your move. This exposes your position to anyone waiting inside the room. Once you cross the threshold, your hand pulls the weapon from the leather in a single, uninterrupted arc. As the weapon comes up, plant your lead foot. The thud of your boot should happen the exact moment your sights align with your target. Run a quick self-check. The weapon's sights should come naturally to eye level. Do not dip your head down to meet the gun. Aligning the threshold footwork with the draw arc places the muzzle on the target the moment you enter the room. Immediately after the action, do not reholster. Lower the gun to a 45-degree angle pointing toward the floor. Next, take a slow, deep breath. This technique manages the adrenaline spike that follows a fast draw. We use this cooldown to mimic Spud-Higgins's reaction in the script. After the gunfire in Santa Fe, Spud stares at the floorboards, grounding himself in the silence of the room. Practically, this is a safety check. You need your heart rate to slow down before you attempt to sheath a weapon. Mastery requires knowing how to transition from the speed of the entry back to a state of calm. You have now synthesized the grip, the threshold timing, the draw, and the cooldown to complete the full drill. This telegraph office is where an adult Spud Higgins eventually works as a lawman. The professional order seen in this station is the narrative result of the physical self-control he first practiced during his training. The silver star pinned to this duster represents that discipline. It marks the transition from the boy in the hayloft to the man capable of holding a position of authority. To reach this level of consistency, drill this motion until the threshold surge becomes muscle memory. Executing the doorway drill correctly ensures that the character's physical movements reflect the maturity they've gained through the story.
I assure you, the engineering has been thoroughly reviewed. The interlocks are completely fail-safe.
Mr. Harrison, it's Priya. The annex just exploded. I don't know how bad it is, but the fire is everywhere. We need immediate assistance.
The high-energy annex is gone. I repeat, it's gone.
We have multiple casualties, and the press is everywhere.
Every line of code is a battle scar. Then comes the segmentation fault, right on schedule. In this desert, the timeout always wins. This isn't my first system crash. Segmentation fault, Walking Dead in WL mode. In this desert, the code don't forgive. You either forge it or you fade. The ultimate upgrade. But out here, the simulation ends, and the real frontier begins.